For my science center, I decided to do plant life. So this one was mostly based on the life cycle of a plant. So on my left side, I have activity 1. Activity 1 says plants need plenty of things to survive, but there are also things they don't. Use the provided worksheet to sort out needs for a plant to survive. So the said worksheet would look like this. It would have 2 boxes, one that says need, one that says don't need, as well as a word box on the bottom that says the 6 options that they're going to be sorting out. So it'd be oxygen, candles, birdhouses, sunlight, soil, and water. There'd be 4 in the need and 2 in the don't need. Activity 2, which is right here in the bottom, is each part of a flower has a name. On the provided worksheet, label each part. This is what the worksheet would look like. It would just have a quick flower, one that's very simple so that they know exactly which label is for what part. It would have one right here for the actual flower itself, one on the stem, one on the leaf, and one at the roots. And right under said flower, there would also be a word box that, like mentioned earlier, would say root, leaf, flower, and stem. On this side, I have my NGSS, which is 2LS2. Designs can be conveyed through sketches, drawings, or physical models. These representations are useful in communicating ideas for a problem's solutions to other people. This is basically just signifying that they're using sketches and labels to identify their understanding of the plant life cycle. My cross curriculum would be reading and comprehension. Students are expected to read and understand instructions to fulfill each task. And comprehension, they need to understand the actual life cycle in order to know, for example, for activity 1, what they would need and don't need. My rubric would be 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 being the highest, where students understood and were able to do all of the activities, and 1 being the lowest, where students struggled and could not complete their activities. In the center, I have the remainder of my activities, which is activity 3 right here. Who, when, where. Label a cycle on what order the plant grows. Come back to activity 3 for your exit ticket. So activity 3 is used, 1 for activity 3, but also as a reference for our exit ticket. So they would be putting in order the life cycle, and they would have a word box as well so they don't get confused, which would have seeds, baby plant, sprouts, roots, seeds, plants falling, and adult plant. Activity 4 would be for your last activity, using a disposable cup, soil, and seed pouch. You will plant your seeds and follow along as your plant grows. So because this is for 2nd grade, basically it would be like a mini terrarium, and it would be an in-class assignment where they would be planting it and keeping it in class. The exit ticket says, go back to step 3. Of the 6 parts of a plant cycle, which do you think is most important and why? So that's why they'd be going back to activity 3 mostly for the word box. Like mentioned earlier, they would have to comprehend in order to understand their activities. And here's where they have to understand the order of the life cycle and what exactly goes on in each part of the cycle and why they would think is more important. For example, as a 2nd grader, I might assume that the roots growing is the most important part because that means that the plant is actually becoming alive and starting to grow. And that is my science center on Plants Life.